Hey guys, this is Brenton Grant with Metaphysical Love Conscience. This is my video about Uranus, take number 3. I want to apologize for the wait. The last week has been incredibly tumultuous. Signing up for classes, all that good stuff, on top of the loss of a close personal friend and roommate, really delayed my involvement in my new page, and I really want to get past that because this is important to me, and I hope that I can branch this out and get other people involved and help it become important to other people as well. Um, anyway, starting on Uranus, I'm going to briefly go over the history because if I try to go into it too much, it becomes an oral report and it's incredibly boring, and I don't want to lose you guys this early on to my monotone voice and just boring love for facts. So we're going to plow through this first part. Uranus is an androgynous planet, meaning that it is both male and female. It rules Aquarius in the 11th house. It is the only planet to rotate on its side like this. It is willfully eccentric, just like the sign it rules, Aquarius. It's the planet of straight up weirdos. We'll get into that in a short time. Its energy is a higher octave of Mercury, the planet of communication. It is also the first of the outer or transcendental planets. It is generational. It is not a personal planet, although aspects involving Uranus to the personal planets can be personal. It is named after the Greek god Uranus, who ruled the sky and was father to the Titans. So, before we move further, I just need to knock this out. The pronunciation is Uranus, like you're like you are, or the possessive, that's your shit or whatever. I'll get more into the disruptive qualities of Uranus in a bit, but that's a great example. Even the name disrupts conversations and makes people giggle under their breath because it sounds like a, anatomical or sexual term. It's really not that funny, but if whatever. Anyways, it was discovered in 1781. Its date of discovery was associated with 3 major revolutions: the American Revolution, the French Revolution, and the Industrial Revolution, which third one's not really a revolution, but just want to throw it in there. It is important. It was the first planet that could not be viewed by the naked eye, and its discovery totally skewed the co-rulership system of classical astrology, which was very convenient, very neat, and it made a lot of sense. Discovery of a new planet screwed the whole thing up because they had to attribute a sign to it, which ended up being Aquarius, which is perfect too. Because we like to, I'm an Aquarius sun, and we like to come in and we see these old stagnant traditional systems and we just single-handedly fuck it up. Excuse my language. But that's really what Uranus does. It fucks shit up. Like, the way we understand things, the way we've been raised to understand things, Uranus challenges that. Uranus is change incarnate. It rules a lot of really destructive stuff like revolution, chaos, and anarchy. Natural disasters are ruled by Uranus, especially those that are unpredictable or very difficult to predict, like earthquakes. But it also rules human intuition. Any idea that's original or novel. It is one of the planets affiliated with creativity and kind of has its own form of creativity. It gives us sudden flashes of insight, and it's strongly linked to electricity, inventors, madness, and the future. So basically, on that note, it's important to note that Uranus is its discovery really started a period of exponential change in humanity where electricity became involved, our technological gifts grew faster and faster, um, population started to skyrocket, you have medicine, all that good stuff. And basically, it was the astrological catalyst for rapid human change. I don't want to say evolution because we're still not at that point where I think we've evolved yet. Still very, still a lot of violence and a lot of really just nasty stuff going on in the world. I'm not going to give it credit for that. Not yet. Um, so, looking at individuals, which again, this would be more linked to strong aspects to Uranus or a very strong Aquarius or 11th house. Um, these individuals we're going to call Uranians. Um, we are predisposed to powerful creativity and openness and are likely to make very good inventors, artists, musicians, and writers, and spiritual leaders as long as our form of creativity is focused on challenging the status quo, daring to dream, and rebelling against the constraints of society. My example would be punk rock. It's a great Uranian music genre. It doesn't give a shit. It will challenge what you think, and it will shock you if you are still caught up on tradition. So Uranians also have lightning strike accurate intuition. Because of this, they can make incredibly gifted psychologists, scientists, revolutionaries, and psychics. Um, the ability to shock of Uranians will draw attention. Whether it brings fame or infamy, it will bring something to light. And most Uranians don't care what people think, so it won't bother them if they get a bad reputation, but they want some kind of reputation. Now we start to move to a more spiritual level. We're past the basics of the planet. And this is actually very important. With Neptune, Uranus rules the higher chakras, throat to the crown. Uranus particularly has sole rulership over the throat and shares the third eye with Neptune. Being that it was the first planet to be discovered after Saturn, which was discovered a long time ago, let me give you a brief explanation of Saturn. Saturn represents reality, judgment. Basically, it puts up walls in our lives. Physical, moral, legal, whatever laws. And it is a very stern and cold teacher, but it can teach us a lot. However, Uranus, as it comes after Saturn, is the planet that shows us that these walls can be torn down, that we don't have to conform to the restraints of Saturn and, to a greater extent, society as a whole. Hence where the rebellion and chaos and anarchy come into play. And this is why it's important to watch the patterns of Uranus in the future. It kind of shows when shit's going to get chaotic. And while Saturn teaches us through punishment, Uranus teaches us through absolutely demolishing shit. Which is why it can also help us learn about powerlessness in our lives. Uranus's actions are change incarnate. They can turn your life up on its side in a matter of hours. When people learn to stop fighting for what they're familiar with, these changes come a lot more easily. When people are stubborn and caught up in tradition and the past, and this has been this way and therefore it shall be this way, these changes can be incredibly uncomfortable and even lead to one of the most notorious Uranian traits of just losing your mind, going completely mad. So it is important, especially for those with a strong sensitivity to this energy, to become comfortable with change, even greatly even greatly unnerving change, because it's usually not the kind of change that we can control ourselves, where it's usually so far past our own power, that our only choice is really to give in. Now, it's important to note that this change is not the kind of change where it's going to be structural change. It's going to be change brought through destruction of structure. Okay, so Uranus is a very psychic planet. The other two very psychic planets, maybe three if we're counting the moon, which is ruled by Cancer, Neptune, and Pluto. Those three are all ruled by water signs. Uranus is ruled by an air sign, or rules an air sign that's name sounds like a water sign. It's important to clarify, Aquarius is an air sign. It is in no way similar to the other water signs, which are very emotional. Aquarius is very non-emotional. My favorite fictional example of an Aquarius is Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. If you are not familiar with that show, you absolutely should be, because it's fantastic. And it's a very important part of my life. It touches my heart. Okay, so Aquarius is very paradoxical. It's confusing. It, at its very core, contradicts itself. Like I said, Aquarius is an air sign that people think is a water sign that's actually most closely linked to the element of storm, which is not an element in astrology. But its chaotic and unpredictable yet ingenious nature fits in with the spiritual qualities of the storm, as well as the discovery of electricity as a power source coinciding around the same time. Ben Franklin has a very powerful aspect which apexes in Uranus. He is one of my favorite examples of Uranian. His life, he refused to let the king or even the other founding fathers tell him how to live his life. Awesome dude. So anyways, this electric energy is linked to the fact that most people who are psychically gifted, I don't really like the word psychic, but I can't think of a better one, tend to have very unique auras and electrical fields. A strong Uranus in the chart, especially the period where it was conjunct Neptune, it's like late 80s through mid 90s, electrifies the aura, opens the spirit, and gives Uranians that powerful electric energy that provides them with, most notably, a very powerful intuition. A Uranian has the ability to just know things out of nowhere, have flash insights. That's called claircognizance. They're also powerful to clairvoyance, or they're also susceptible to clairvoyance and clairsentience, which means the ability to see things, like visions, auras, stuff like that. And clairsentience, which is feelings. And these are all linked to the auric field. So Uranus's unpredictable energy will often gift, this spiritually open person with sudden visions, which it would be cool if we could kind of call upon them in a more consistent way, but a lot of times they just happen. It also, Uranian psychics tend to be gifted mostly in the arts of aura reading, esotericism, astrology, and divination. Anything linked to electricity and the sky. Um, Another weird gift, which isn't really a gift, just a thing, is that they often interfere with electronic devices. Um, so this is not only due to the electrical nature of Uranus, but also the willingness of Uranus to look beyond Saturn's walls, which would be more affiliated with organized religions, um, and to see every alternative and other possibility of religion or spirituality. Um, and one other really good example of that is Timothy Leary, who had Moon in Aquarius. And although his idea of spirituality was linked to using drugs, which is controversial to say the least, and not something I necessarily agree with or disagree with in this case, although in most cases I would disagree with it. Um, However, he completely challenged the norms of spirituality. After all, chemical induced spirituality is something that was almost unheard of to Western culture, other than, I guess, the taking of wine or that kind of stuff. So it's important to note, and I think this is me wrapping it up, unless something else pops into my head. Uranus and Aquarius are the signs of spiritual enlightenment on the personal level. Um, Although, with Aquarius's notion for group-oriented things, this personal level of enlightenment will also be followed by a need to share it with a group and to create change. It's just important to realize the visionary capabilities of this planet. Those with a strong Uranus in their natal charts should absolutely never doubt themselves, never doubt their vision, never doubt that weird idea that pops into their head. I'm an artist and very Uranian. It's, I think, my dominant planet, and my creativity will often come through a sudden image of something cool just popping into my head, and then the challenge is to actually channel that onto paper or whatever, a photograph, even writing, just some way to get that vision down before it's gone, because unfortunately it is very brief with the Uranian influence. But this is an awesome planet. Not only is it psychically gifted and linked to the higher chakras, which are personal evolution and group evolution on a spiritual level, it's also very linked to the future and changing society. It is important that we just, if we feel like we can change society for the better, no matter what influence Uranus is in your chart, never doubt that and never be told that you should do something else. If you feel the need to change something because you think it's wrong or you think of a better system, explore it. Fight for it, bring it up, share it with your friends, whatever. That's Uranus working in anybody's life. So, in conclusion, be spiritual, be creative, be dynamic, be rebellious, and be free. And this planet will work in your benefit. And I will hopefully have another video for you guys soon. Enjoy the cold, dreary month of January and February if you're in the northern hemisphere, or in Pennsylvania where I am, where it's snowing and shitty out. Yeah, it's gross. Anyways, have a wonderful evening, guys. I really appreciate all your support. Share this group with your friends. I love you. Bye.